Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Sonia. I'm so used to saying Sonia with hiking with Sonia. I'm not out hiking right now, but I've been doing quite a bit. I'm taking a rest today. I need a rest. And I'm finding that I'm not doing as many videos out hiking because I've been going with more people. And I don't spend a lot of time on them, but I'm not taking time away from the group to do it. But anyway, where am I? This is the video where Jess was asking, where are we at? And I didn't do this right away because I was really kind of feeling into where I'm at. How do I feel? I feel pretty damn good. That's the truth. I feel pretty good. I feel like I've really pretty much walked through the fire here the last few years. I got a divorce about 4 years ago. Well, I left 4 years ago. Divorce has been final for 2 years. And I really walked through the fire on that. I really, really did. And I have released a lot of grief. A lot of guilt too. I had a lot of guilt about walking out of the marriage too. It was a 25-year marriage. But it had gotten to the point where I had to do something. I was dying in that marriage. I was just dying. It was like I didn't even exist anymore. People, and this is no joke, people didn't know my name. My ex is kind of well known in the agricultural community. So I was always Frank's wife. And then my kids were pretty involved in sports in high school, and they were varsity and everything. So they were well known too. I was Rachel and Boyd's mother. Nobody knew my name. I didn't, exist except being somebody's wife and somebody's mother. And I am aware that I do have quite a bit of masculine energy. It was part of that is the way I was raised. I was raised on a cattle ranch in Oregon. So what was rewarded and what was needed growing up in that kind of lifestyle was masculine energy. So it was something I wanted to, though. I grew up with a very domineering father, very controlling, and at times very abusive, and a mother that was a doormat, and she had no voice. And I did not want that for me. I knew that. I did not want that for me. So I really stepped into my masculine energy at a pretty young age. However, during my 25-year marriage, this last marriage, that was stripped away from me. I just gave away all my power in that marriage. If I tried to speak up in that marriage, I was told to. His words were, "Oh, shush, just shush. You're just trying to start a fight." And he would shut me down. Anytime I wanted to talk to him about something and he didn't want to talk about it, he would just shut me down. So I learned to just shut up. I lost my throat chakra so bad in that marriage. I had no voice. And even though I was working too, he had total control over the finances. So I pretty much gave away all my power in that marriage. And I wasn't treated very well. I was not treated with respect. And my children, my two youngest children from that marriage, they often did not treat me with respect. And I take full responsibility for that. I mean, I created that. I allowed that. I created that. I allowed that. And that's when my power came back to me, is when I hit rock bottom in that marriage. It was like, if I don't get out of this, I'm not going to survive. So I hit rock bottom and I started taking my power back. I started speaking my truth. I started being authentic. And one of that was to leave that marriage too. It had gotten to the point where a couple things. Like, if I learned not to ask for anything, because he would make sure I didn't get it. It had to be his idea, but I didn't ask for it. And there was something else I was going to say. He started following me too. If I was going somewhere, going to do something, he would follow me to make sure I was where I said I was going to be. Oh, red flag, red flag. That's bad news. Anyway, and when I decided to walk out of the marriage, it was it took a lot of courage on my part, and well, I didn't feel like I had a choice, actually. And to sit here and say, oh, it was easy, no, it wasn't. Was it well received when I started speaking my truth? No, it wasn't. And what did I lose? This is the old paradigm of 3D, taking my power back, getting freedom. What did I lose in that? Well, my youngest daughter from that marriage hasn't spoken to me in several years. She blames me for the divorce. So, and I went through it. So much grief with that. So much grief. But I've gotten to the point, I've just purged this grief. I've gotten to the point now where I have to set her free, and I've set myself free. And she's the one too, though, that comes to me. It's been a little while now, but there for a year during this purging the grief, she would come to me in dreams all the time, and they're the kind of dreams that you remember. I mean, you really remember. I can remember them, from a year ago. Very, very clear, vivid dreams. Ones that you don't even need to write down. When you wake up, I always have to write them down if I want to remember them. Otherwise, they're gone. Not these dreams. These are really strong dreams. And very fun and loving dreams. So my feeling is I have a real deep connection with her spiritually. I know we do with everybody that's in our life like that. But I have an extra strong bond with her in the spiritual world. And I've gotten to the point where, this is just a dream. This is just a movie here. This is just, a drop in time here. And I have gotten to the point, and I hate to say this too, but when I got to the point of being able to release her with love, release her with well wishes. I wish her the very best in life. But when I got to the point of being able to release her and give her her freedom, give me my freedom, it was such a relief. And I hate to say that as a mother, but it's been a relief. Because she was very much often disrespectful to me. And it feels good not to have somebody like that in my life. Now, I have not closed the door. I have not closed the door at all for her. If she decides to walk back in. It's not like, oh, I don't ever want to see her again in my life. No, I don't feel that way. I just feel free. I just feel free about it. But I'm not standing at the door and begging for her to come back into my life. If she decides to come back in, then we'll see. I am a different person, and I have witnessed in my life, I've seen this in my life, when I've changed, people around me have changed. So what my feeling is, if she ever decides to come back into my life, and that's her decision, I'm very open to it. But if she ever decides to come back into my life, I believe because there's a different version of me, a better version of me, than there is a better version of her. And I went through a period of time where even after the divorce was final, I thought, well, you know, maybe I gave up too much. I gave up too much to have my freedom. But no, I can tell you, when you get on the other side of freedom, I would not exchange this life that I have right now for anything. I would not go back into that marriage. I would not go back, even if it meant, getting her back in my life. No. The freedom, the emotional freedom, financial freedom, spiritual freedom, everything I can't even, words can't describe how much healthier I am too. I wasn't even going to say anything about that, but when I made all these decisions to do this, I made a firm decision, and it actually happened before I filed the divorce, but I had already made a firm decision to make these changes in my life. I dropped 35 pounds in 4 months. I mean, it just went up, and I think I was holding on to weight because it was a barrier. It was protecting me from negative energy, being in a toxic home environment like that. It was protecting me. So where am I? I'm pretty good. And I look at it as not a loss now. I don't feel like it's a loss now. I feel like for some reason, and she's kind of a story in herself, and that she is gay, and she may be even considered transgender. But I always honored that. When she was growing up. She wanted to play football. I made sure she got to play football, and she was one of the best players on the team. This was middle school. And she is an Alaska State Trooper. Not just anybody can be an Alaska State Trooper. It's kind of an elite group up there. But this is something she's wanted since middle school. And I raised her to be who she is. I raised her in empowerment. But something I said to my ex one time about Rachel's anger towards me. He said, I think Rachel's mad at the world. And I think that goes back to her not being 100% accepted for the kind of person she is. I think she's done outstanding. I think she's just, I think she's doing great, because she just goes out and does what she wants and be who she wants to be. So I don't know. I think she's doing fantastic. I do. But if she needs to be mad at somebody, I think probably I'm a safe person to be mad at, and I just allow that. Just allow it. And it's taken me a while. I didn't do that overnight. It took me a couple years to get to that. The last letter, I may post that last letter that I wrote to her, and I wrote it just within the last 2-3 weeks of just totally letting go. I was initially doing things to try to bring her back into my life, but then I realized that's manipulation and control. And when I let go of manipulating and controlling somebody else, it just kind of let it go. I just let go of any expectations. I let go of anything that I need, a loss, a need. I've just let go of that. And even the want, I've let go of the want of her in my life. I just let it go. I just set it down, let it go. But it took a lot of letters, it took a lot of journaling. I like tapping too. Yeah. The other thing that is something that I'm dealing with, and just realized I've gotten to a place with it where I'm pretty much at peace with it. My mom is in early stage Alzheimer's, and actually I think she's considered in middle stages now. She's still pretty high functioning in a lot of ways, but it's definitely progressing. And I've had to release a lot of grief over that. You just slowly lose somebody that way. You just slowly lose them. But this is something that, this is her choice to do this. This is her way of taking her power back. Dad was, he's gotten better over the years. He's still hanging out. He's 87 now. His health isn't very good though. But my mom, through Alzheimer's, is speaking her truth. They lose their filter. And she's taking her power back through this. And I just I've just learned to just go with the flow. Just go with the flow. But I've also learned to set boundaries with my parents too. Yeah. That's been very empowering for me. Learning how to set boundaries. Learning how to speak my truth. Very, very empowering. Anyway, that's where I am right now in my life. I've where else do I want to do? I'm retired. I like to do more traveling. I did this summer. I went through 8 states this summer, and mostly in South Dakota and Wyoming is where I was hanging out. But I traveled and flew back and saw my son in Virginia. And we went into DC. That was a fabulous trip. I did that September. But I'm retired and I'm wanting to do more traveling and connect with more people. I have been going out with I'm an avid hiker. I've been going out with different hiking groups, and also I've been going on one website and creating my own hiking groups. And I've been bringing people into my life that way to spend time with, something that I enjoy out there in nature. And that's another thing that's been really, really healing for me is movement, exercise, and nature. I seem to just really thrive out there. That's where I thrive. That's where I feel the best, and that's what I enjoy. And I feel like, and usually I do my videos out there because things flow better. Just flow better. That's where I usually get my downloads, is out there. So, but what would I like? Well, this is the nicest house I have ever lived in. That was part of my financial freedom, was having control over my part of the money in the divorce. And being able to choose what I want and have what I want. And my home is my sanctuary. My car is my freedom. That's what I refer to them as. My sanctuary and my freedom. And the universe, I've noticed the universe rewards courage. When I make a firm decision to do something and then I do it, when I step out and do it, the universe backs me up. Now, is it always easy? No, it's not. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, everything's roses. No, it's not, but it's worth it. It's worth it. You are worth it. I am worth it. So that's where I am. Oh, but what I was going to say about my home, I always had, we in Alaska, I still own the place in Alaska that my ex is living on, but that's another story. I have always had room to have, I had 2 little pet goats, and I had laying hens, and we had horses, and I'm not interested in doing the horses, but I'm finding that I'm missing small livestock. I'm missing my little pet goats. And that's something that I think I do want to manifest. I'm still working through that, but where I live now is I live in a small town, and I know we are not zoned for goats and chickens. So that is something I may do. I will see. I'm wanting to travel right now. So, And what else would I like to manifest? I went through a period of time where I thought maybe I did want male companionship. And now, right now where I'm at is, I'm not so sure I do. I'm having fun connecting with these other women. I've been taking people out hiking, and I just joined another group. It's a 40 and over women's group. So we're all ladies out hiking in the Arizona desert, and it's been a lot of fun. And I've been using them as a mirror where I'm at. And that's been really, really interesting, being an observer and watching how people are reflecting back to me where I'm at. That's been kind of fun to do, interesting to do. See, where else do I need to heal? Where else do I need to heal? But it's something that I was a little confused about yesterday. We had in our group an elderly woman. I have to hand it to her. She did it. She did it. I don't know how old she is. She's a lot older than me. And we did almost 5 miles, and she did it. I have to hand it to her. But she was very focused on the vaccine, and everybody should have it, and this and that. And not that long ago, that might have triggered me. It didn't trigger me. And I was a little confused at first why it was even coming up. Why is this coming in my reality? And then I realized, oh, I have gotten to a point where I can allow people to feel that way. And I know where she's coming from. It's from fear. It's fear-based. And just allow her to express herself. And nobody asked me if I've ever had the shot. I don't know if they assume I have or what. They don't ask me. So I didn't jump in and argue with her and say it from my perspective, that I just allow her to. And then as of course we were out there a couple hours together, and then I just spoke up about some of the things that I do health-wise. And just do it that way. Anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm just allowing my mom to descend into the depths of Alzheimer's, I'm just letting go. It's letting go of my daughter. Just let her go. Let her go in peace. And I have been doing more activities with people, and that's been really expanding for me. When I was in the marriage, I was always doing everything for the kids. I didn't have towards the end, I started joining groups for me. I did. Towards the end, I did. There's a couple of groups I did join that was for me. But so now I live by myself. Everything is for me. Everything is for me. And that's been very, very healing. Very healing. That's where I am. I'm in a good spot. Is everything perfect? No. But it feels pretty damn good, pretty damn close. And I just, I focus on how I want to feel too, more than what I want. That's been kind of very strong in manifesting. When I went to visit my son in Virginia, I didn't focus on what we were going to do and everything. I focused on how I wanted to feel. No matter what we did, no matter where we went, I just focused on enjoying being in the present moment, having fun, and just going with it, just going with the flow. And that was very, very powerful. I manifested some cool stuff there. And it's just letting go, being in the present moment, and just having fun, play. Don't forget to play. That's where I'm at right now, and it does feel good. Everybody have a good day.